Hi everyone, this is Ryan here, back again with a GLDL match. This is the finals match between Dan and Flamingo. I'm also joined by a guest today. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hey guys, Poppy Cantan. I'm excited to be here, man.
Yeah, thanks for joining me and helping me commentate. So far we're seeing both Indeedis on both sides. We see Dan with the Zapdos Arcanine. We know from the we have the pace that we looked at prior. We know that the Zapdos is coaching into an Assault Vest Arcanine. We also see things like Iron Ball Crocodile for a Trick Room mode, it looks like, with the Slowbro. What do you think about what Flamingo's got going on? Do you have any predictions on what 4 he's going to bring?
Looking over what he's got, I think it's real interesting because this is kind of a grudge match. They faced against each other in the regular season. Dan came out on top with Flamingo, but I think Flamingo's been using Hitmontop and Togekiss very, very well this season, along with Hitmontop and Didi. So I think those are his 4 core that he might bring along, and I'm excited to see what happens and who he does.
Well, sounds good. The game's getting started, so let's check out the leads. So Dan's leading the Zapdos Galar with the Arcanine, presumably to coaching boost. That's also why he's probably running Sash, is so he can handle it. We see Togekiss Walrein lead. Now we know this Walrein is Belly Drum, and we know this Togekiss is a weakness policy set. Intimidate drop here doesn't really matter regardless, because I feel like this Walrein will usually click the either Yawn or the Belly Drum button most of the time, regardless. So it would get maxed attack anyway.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe the max from that Arcanine, because it is Assault Vest, and they can take. I think it's a nice max option for Dan here.
I think a max and a max Lightning wouldn't be out of place here.
Yeah.
Either the Walrein or the Togekiss slot. If I'm Dan, I probably shoot for the. It's a bit of a tricky call. I would probably hazard to do it into the Kiss, because I'm not actually as worried anymore in this position.
Both of those options on Mingo's side, they're real bulky mons, so they'll be able to take that hit. It doesn't really matter who he max lightnings into, but he has to max lightning in order to avoid that yawn potential.
Yeah. I think part of the reason why Dan's not as worried about the Walrein is that Flamingo doesn't know that this Zapdos is going to coaching.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm thinking that Dan is kind of predicting that Walrein might want to switch out here into something else, predicting that it might get like a Thunderous Kick or it might get attacked. However, we see a max Togekiss come off turn 1, so both these trainers are turn 1 maxing. I actually don't see Flamingo do a lot of turn 1 maxes in his game. Dan's tends to do it a lot.
Flamingo likes to wait and adjust to his matchup and see where it's going before he, wastes his max option.
That is not good for Dan, because we know this is a weakness policy Togekiss, and it's going to eat that hit. And if it retaliates with an Airstream, it'll outspeed the following turn into that Arcanine at +2, which seems pretty threatening for what Dan's going for. Yeah, that's
the Airstream into the Zapdos.
Not the kind of thing that you want to have happen turn 1 is activating your opponent's policy.
No.
I think Dan's in a slightly rough spot here.
It's an easily steamrollable thing that can happen. It's just that weakness policy kicks in. You can coast to the win.
I think that's actually a pretty safe play, because even though the Arcanine set the electric terrain, Zapdos is flying in the air, so it's still gonna be put to sleep.
It can still fall asleep, yeah.
Yeah. Dan's going for a Thunderous Kick here, probably anticipating sacking Zapdos, trying to get as much damage off as possible into that Walrein. This is AV, so he kind of has to attack here. Yeah, if I'm him, I just...
I'd set up another Steel Spike just to get that defense boost. Continue to stay bulky, try to stay ahead of this, instead of, set yourself up in the long term.
Yeah, I don't think a Steel Spike's out of place here, but he knows that the Electric will guarantee the 2-hit KO, and he's not he's not sure if his first Max Electric was a roll or not at this point, I don't believe. And Arcanine eats that up pretty nice because of that AV. So that's really good for him because he is actually getting rid of his Togekiss before it sets up too much to be a big enough threat. We see an Icicle Spear come out, that'll just kill this 1 HP Zapdos. So this Max Lightning will kill this Togekiss this turn, so I actually think that's a trade Dan always takes. Luckily, the Assault Vest was able to tank the Togekiss pretty well. And he still has a turn of Max left.
So Dan's not in a terrible position. They're both in kind of a trade here, 1 for 1.
Yeah, if I'm Dan, I would probably go with Azumarill here. I think that's a smart play. You don't want to have that Crocodile come out into that Oblivious Wall Rain. That's at +2 speed.
Because he still has the option to Belly Tribute.
Yeah.
That
we do see that this Arcanine's now at neutral. If I'm Dan, I probably Knuckle into the Wall Rain to get my attack boost back. To get back to neutral.
Maybe.
He could Electric the Wall Rain as well. I think Wall Rain's in kind of a bad spot here. Just sort of depends on what he wants.
Yeah.
I think a Fighting would help the Azumarill, but a Lightning will kill that Wall Rain for sure. So this is kind of a tough turn. I actually think a potential play is just going for a Play Rough into that Hitmontop, which Dan did not go for, but it was definitely on the table, I think. But he's opting to lower that Hitmontop's attack stat and just kind of ignore it, go for the Wall Rain.
Which makes sense. It's a long-term play. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's the Max Lightning into the Wall Rain.
That will...
Oh, that's a good chunk.
It eats its Citrus
That is
Berry.
a good chunk.
If I'm Dan at this point, I know this thing's Belly Drum. After seeing that Citrus Berry proc. And we see a coaching from our opponent come out.
Oh, wow.
However, I still think he's probably in range to a Wild Charge. And that Stomping Tantrum didn't do as much as he wanted it to, so...
So I think Alpha Moon is a little behind here.
A Darkest
Spear, maybe?
A Darkest Lariat from Cook, I think, is a really smart play here, just to ignore the defense boost. Because at this point, he knows this is a pretty supportive Hitmontop overall.
He can Wild Charge in close combat.
I think a close combat makes a lot of sense here, because he already is at +1 defense, so he'll just be at neutral defense after the fact.
Yeah.
However, we see the Helping Hand, probably Icicle Spear or Stomping Tantrum come out. Stomping Tantrum into the Arcanine, that does pick up the KO.
Okay, that's good. It's another trade, 1 for 1.
We see the Darkest Lariat, which I think that was a really good play on Dan's end to go for that. But not quite enough damage. And wait, this Azumarill's banded, so I think Dan has to make a call here on whether to go for an Aqua Jet to try to revenge the Wall Rain, which super resists Water-type moves. Or he just Play Roughs the Hitmontop and hopes Crocodile can handle the Wall Rain.
I think if he plays...
I think a Protect here from Crooks.
He's in a better spot. He's in a better spot to use it. Yeah.
Is he going to double Aqua Jet into Wall Rain? I actually like that play.
Okay, yeah.
I think double Aqua Jet's smart.
There's a Helping Hand, so it's going to be Stomping Tantrum, maybe.
I might be an Icicle Spear into this Crocodile.
Yeah.
Azu throws out Aqua Jet. Wow. That picks up the KO. That was surprising, to say the least. That's pretty cool. That was nice. Huge Power Azumarill with a Choice Band has an insane base attack stat, so that's a really good pickup here.
I've used a Digger Tree in a different drive.
However, Lurantis in the back's not what you want to see if I'm in Dan's position. I think a Darkest Lariat and... I think you Darkest Lariat that, and then you Aqua Jet. Hitmontop probably. You're not a great spot, because you're pretty much...
Banded. he's locked into that Aqua Jet. So wherever he goes, he's gonna have to commit to it. It does a
That's a
good chunk
lot of
on it.
damage. Brick Break
Yeah.
comes out into Crocodile, doing a pretty good chunk. We know Iron Ball Lurantis, so we know it's going to underspeed. Doing not enough. And a superpower, contrary superpower comes out. I do think that spells the
this
end
is something
for
that
Dan.
Flamingo's been using all season. That contrary Lurantis and superpower on top of it, it just boosts the heck out of that.
Yeah,
there's no way to really consider it.
This is most definitely game for Dan. I think he adjusts his strategy a bit. Seeing the 4 that Flamingo brought, he'll have to make some pretty big adjustments, I think, for next game. He now knows that the Togekiss is weakness policy, so he can kind of play around that a bit. I actually like that he targeted Lurantis there. He's kind of scouting how much Aqua Jet can pick it up from.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty solid game 1 from Flamingo, I think. Just position that endgame nicely.
Yeah. I like how Dan tried to set himself up, but it just wasn't enough. Flamingo's very good at adjusting throughout the game and figuring out what to do next, which I've been watching him almost all season. He's just phenomenal at adjusting.
So Dan is quite good at adjusting too. I'd say that's one of his strengths as well. I'm not sure what Dan goes for here. If I'm Dan, I'm thinking that the Arcanine that he has, at this point, I'm a little hesitant to think it would work 100%, but he still needs to have a way to deal with that Togekiss. So
I'd say go Arcanine, but probably wait to max it.
Yeah, a late game max seems viable here. I think like a Slowbro lead with the Indeedee, just expanding force damage, and then set Trick Room.
Yep.
With the
Crook in the back with Iron Ball, and either Arcanine or Azumarill. They both came in very
I think that's the play.
Last game.
You commit to maxing Crook if you go Crook without Arcanine. I think unless you max Slowbro, which he can do. The Slowbro is not it's not a very passive set that he has. It has 252 special attack with Sludge Bomb, Expanding Force, Muddy Water, so it's definitely a solid backup max option. If he wants it to be, but I don't think it's a super reliable one.
It can answer most of Flamingo's team.
Dan going for the Zapdos.
Investment. Okay.
Zapdos. I actually like the Zapdos here because his current comp kind of lost to Lurantis as well, and that Brave Bird is an amazing revenge tool, especially with Focus Sash. So I think that could play out nicely for him. It just depends.
And he leads again with Togekiss and Walrein.
Togekiss, Walrein.
And that was his. That was a tried and true option for him game 1. So let's see how Dan adjusts to this.
Yeah, I think if I'm Flamingo, I'm thinking my Walrein belly drumming is possibly an option. Yeah, if you're Dan, you kind of have to follow me here. I do think setting Trick Room in front of a potential belly drum Walrein is a really scary notion. We do see him go for it, though. I think that's a very risky play. Overall.
Yeah, by these leads, they're both very passive.
But I actually like that Flamingo followed me on the Togekiss here, because if I were in Dan's position, I would have definitely considered going for a... if I were in Dan's position, I most definitely would have considered going for a Sludge Bomb into the Walrein slot to prevent its belly drum from going up, get it below that margin. So I think this is actually ends up working out for him really nicely. And that follow me was a really good play by Flamingo. That said, double expanding force looks pretty good here, potentially.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know how slow Walrein can get relative to Slowbro, but I'm relatively certain Slowbro will outspeed it. I don't remember Walrein's speed stat off the top of my head.
I'm honestly, I'm hoping to see a wall rain max. That would be
You
really
very well
great.
might. We do see an
Yeah,
expanding force come out.
double
Yeah,
expanding force.
double
Wow.
expanding force coming out. Okay. Seeing a max. I'm assuming this will be a wall rain max.
Yeah, this would be the wall rain. And it is. It's good for
Dan also
Flamingo.
has Shuckaberry on this Slowbro, so that might actually play off big time. Because I think he might
Yeah.
max Quake into the Slowbro slot. And luckily, Expanding
And
Force ignores this Follow Me redirection, which is super nice for Dan. So we do see an Expanding Force come off. Do pretty good damage. And we do see the Quake go off. Is it into the Needy slot or into the Slowbro? Okay.
It's into the Needy. Wow,
Right.
that knocks
Needy
out
goes down
right away.
here.
And
Dan's
he
a
gets
bit
that
on the
death boost.
Yeah, Dan's a bit on the back foot here. And with that Spadef boost, I'm not certain how well Wall Rain tanks this. So if I'm Dan, I'm maxing my Crocodile or my Slowbro here.
I think, yeah.
Probably
think
Steel Spike into the Togekiss. Pick up the KO on that. Yep. Because at this point, if I'm Flamingo, I don't think this Crocodile is slower than my team. At all.
No.
I
Maybe
think
that's
another
Bomb.
I think another Expanding Force makes the most sense to get around that Follow Me and still get some good damage on Wall Rain.
Oh, yeah. For a second, I forgot about Follow Me. But yeah, you're right. That Expanding Force will do some damage.
So you see the Max Crocodile here. Max Iron Ball Crocodile. That's such a cool tech. You don't see stuff like that very often.
I love it. I love it. It's a great tech.
Good prep on Dan's end for sure. So we're going to see how this turn plays out.
There's the Follow Me from the Togekiss. Expanding Force. Does very little damage onto that Wall Ring, but that Togekiss is well within range for that Steel Spike pickup from Dan's end.
Yeah.
Alright.
Dan doesn't have Protect on a lot of his mons. Now the question is if this still KOs. I mean, Slowbro's pretty bulky, but this is a maxed out. Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
Eats the hit.
Take that. Wow.
That's okay.
Wow.
I really like Dan's position where he's at right now.
Yeah.
A lot more than I did a couple seconds ago.
He's in a good position now. I mean, even taking that Indeedee KO, he's still.
Yeah, this is a very, very free Expanding Force here, just to take care of the Hitmontop. And then you can predict a Max Guard on the Wall Rain if you want. I still think you probably attack it, or you protect your Crocodile. Lowering the Spadef with Max Darkness might potentially be a pretty good play.
I mean, if you Steel Spike into the Hitmontop and then Expanding Force it, you can still call that Max Guard, but still pick up the defense boost, and you might be in even better position.
So you see Helping Hand come out from the Hitmontop. See Expanding Force come out. That should, KO.
Ooh, yeah.
Does live on Sash, though.
There's the Max Quake. Into the wall.
Does this pick it up? Nope. I think if he had gone for the Max Darkness there, it would have actually picked up the KO at the -1 Spadef, but I'm not 100% on that. That would be really difficult to determine.
Yeah, I agree.
He Hailstorms the Slowbro. I don't know how I feel about that play, because I feel like you're picking up a KO on this Crocodile with Hailstorm from the range it's at.
And you're gonna KO your
and
own
you lose
Hitmontop.
the Max, and the Hitmontop dies to your own Hail here. I don't know if I'm 100% on board with how both these players played their Max turns. both because that guarantees Hitmontop's going to die, and I'm not sure the Spadef boost from the Quake mattered. I think its base power might have been a bit higher, but having that Spadef drop might have let Slowbro pick up the KO with the expanding force. I can't really say for certain.
Yeah.
Regardless, I think
they're both maximizing their offensive output just to kind of get their support mons out of the way, so the main offensive threat.
I think a detect here is appropriate to defend yourself from an incoming attack to keep that sash intact, because I actually think this Zapdos can clean up the endgame pretty nicely. See, Lurantis superpower, not doing a lot. The Max Crook. It is getting that defense boost, which is nice for it.
There's the Max Quake.
Max Quake going right out into the wall rain.
And that's going to pick it up. All right. Now, Flamingo off. He's down 2-1.
Now, Brave Bird will, in fact, break your... Brave Bird does, in fact, break your Focus Sash. A potential Thunderous Kick into Brave Bird, though, definitely picks up the KO. However, your Sash just got broken by Hail, so you just go for the Brave Bird here.
Yeah.
Brave Bird Darkest Lariat should pick up the KO.
See how this shapes up. And unless by some act of God, I guess, with that superpower picking up an Oko. Or,
no, not with how we saw much, so we saw it due to the critical maxed. And there we go.
Ooh.
That will definitely be in Darkest Lariat range.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's a really good game too by Dan. I really like how he played that out. I think things were very scary for a very good minute there. And he managed to pull it back with a really nice TR Iron Ball Crocodile.
Yeah, I like how both these players adjust. It's awesome.
Yeah,
no, you don't know what way a game is gonna go until it's done.
They're both playing really, really well. I'm really enjoying watching this set. I don't really think there's been any massive misplays or anything like that.
Yeah.
We are now entering a game 3, which I think is really difficult for both to manage. Because Dan's TR win
now
there was good, but it didn't.
Iron Ball is coming. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're
Dan
good.
knows the Iron Ball is there, and Flamingo knows that the Iron Ball is on Crook because it's undersped.
We see Dan sitting here for the first 20 seconds going, okay, what do I even bring this game? And I would be right there with him. I would have no clue what to bring to this game 3 off the bat. Thinking it through a bit...
It's going to be a tough adjustment on both parts.
Yeah, I would agree. Thinking it through a bit, it's a little tough. I mean, the Slowbro put in a lot of work last game, and generally I think looks really good into all of Flamingo's team. So I definitely still bring that. But whether I bring
it with... I think if he maxes that Slowbro, he's in good position.
I'm not at 100%, but yeah, I generally don't think a max Slowbro is too bad. We actually see him pivot back to the Zapdos Arcanine with Indeedee in the back and I'm guessing Slowbro. No, Crocodile.
Wait.
Or Azure? He's thinking over this last one hard. I would personally be considering the Slowbro pretty heavily, but I can see what Dan's kind of thinking here.
A huge power Azumarill is real good into this matchup.
I would agree. Yeah, this is just that game 3 mons are tough to see. I'm not really sure who has an advantage in this game 3.
Yeah.
Togekiss Marowak is the new lead.
Interesting.
The Zapdos Arcanine being the other lead. I like this a lot for Dan off the bat. Getting that Marowak at -1 is huge. And if he can coaching boost that, that's going to be a huge problem. I actually wouldn't be shocked to see
Tough to see.
Zapdos switch out into the Indeedee, maybe. I guess Azu could work too. But
Yeah, I like
turn
Azu
one,
going into
turn one
this-
max on both
this-
sides would not surprise me here at all.
Yeah. This is Umaro going into the Marowak, potential Marowak if it stays out. I like it.
Not
And then
maxing,
Iron
going
Head.
for an Iron Head into a weakness Policymon. That is a bold play, in my opinion.
Yeah. And there's the turn one max from.
I'm not
Flamingo.
100% sure how I feel about that, if I'm being completely honest with everyone in the audience.
And there's the Togekiss getting maxed into that Iron Head. Oh, that's a proc right away. Oh man.
You see Marowak
There's
detect
the
there.
detect.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I would have expected a max
Ouch.
Togekiss there. I'm not 100% sure why Dan went for the Iron Head there.
Ouch. Sometimes that hurts to see, maybe.
Yeah,
And
that
there's-
Azumarill is
wow.
super dead.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
I went from agreeing with Dan's play quite a bit to not agreeing with Dan's play at all, very quickly. I think you can just go into... Okay, he goes right into Zapdos here.
maybe he can salvage this by maxing and coaching that Arcanine. But he's going to be outsped by that Togekiss. So let's see what he goes for. He
Goes for another Steel Spike into
the
Kiss.
Togekiss.
I mean, his plan here, I think, is to get as much coaching boost off as possible, and then have Indeedee follow me as long as possible, so that way he can just kind of have Arcanine just run through the rest of the team. I think that's his plan at this point. And he does have a turn of Max on Flamingo, which is nice. I just don't know how I feel about that Iron Head into Togekiss, you know, as weakness policy. That
There's
just
some
feels...
Max Airstream at Zapdos.
That feels a little unnecessarily risky.
This may be a double up into that Zapdos, because I know Flamingo knows that Zapdos is sashed. And there's the coaching.
Okay, Steel Spike comes out. This is a +1 Steel Spike. Doesn't quite pick up the KO. I'd like to comment, this has been a very hacksless set overall. Ooh, that's a big
There's
miss
the
target.
Chop. Wow. Oh no. That's probably not the best move on Flamingo's part.
That was
He should have
definitely
doubled
a
up
miss
into that
target in my book.
Zapdos. Because now Dan can just get that free coaching or that protect. Actually, not the protect, but that coaching, yeah. And that just further sets his Arcanine up. And quite possibly leaves Flamingo behind.
Right.
If
Now,
he
you
doesn't pick
obviously
up his
Steel Spike.
air.
I should mention, you obviously do Steel Spike over Lightning here because the Marowak is Lightning Rod. Or at least you have
Yeah.
to assume it's Lightning Rod. So I like that. It's just that, like... And I guess Flare Blitzing turn 1 is risky, but I don't like activating your opponent's policy for them turn 1 of a likely max. That just doesn't feel super correct to me.
And Flamingo with the Airstream into Arcanine instead of that Zapdos. This might... Yep. And the coaching comes up to that Arcanine, further
Yeah,
setting it up.
This Arcanine is really getting boosted, and that Marowak is at -1 against a +3 defense Arcanine and not doing anything.
And that Steel Spike picks up Togekiss.
Yep.
And it was bound to. It was well within range, especially after 2 coaching. And that
Okay,
Thunder Punch
comes out into Zapdos, finally KOing it. But at this point, I think Dan can kind of clean up. as fast as that Marowak is, it's not really going to touch that Indeedee for a whole lot. I mean, it has Throat Chop, but he's running Colberberry. So...
Yeah. I 100% agree with you. There's not much Flamingo can do unless...
This last turn of Max is important.
Yeah.
See Hitmontop come out. Get that attack drop, but at this point, Arcanine's pretty boosted. It'll still be KO and everything.
And that's going to stop the fake out as well. With that Psychic Surge. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. I don't think.
Yeah, I think Indeedee either Expanding Forces or Protects here. I guess it could follow me. I don't really think it's worth it with a +4 defense Arcanine against 2 physical threats. Oh, he doesn't have Protect. I would just pick Expanding Force here. Every time. Right into that Marowak. It's the threat. Get it out of the way. No, it's going to Throat Chop your Indeedee. Probably helping him Throat Chop Indeedee. But you have Colberberry, so you kind of expect that you'll live. And then once that Marowak is gone, that Hitmontop's a bit of a sitting duck, I think. Especially if the last one.
Yeah, in that last game, it O-code that Hitmontop with the Expanding Force, so... And he withdraws the Hitmontop.
Good switch out to get another Intimidate off. And good Detect
There's
here.
The Detect.
Getting another defense boost, though. My goodness. Wow. This Expanding Force should do a lot to Lurantis. I just don't quite see how Flamingo gets out of this endgame, because if you look, that did a sizable chunk to that Lurantis there.
Yeah.
And he can keep clicking it. Like, he can click Mystical Fire and actually pick up the KO if he wants.
Yeah, no matter what he clicks, he's going to pick up
I expect Marowak to switch out into a potential Hitmontop, or it might stay in.
Ooh, that Flare Blitz into the Lurantis. It's
into
well
into the Marowak. I actually love that a lot.
It's a Marowak. Okay.
That's the strongest move you have in your arsenal, and you need to get that KO.
Yeah.
So, doing a nice chunk there. Throat Chop into Arcanine does not pick up the KO, because it's at like +5 defense.
Ooh, that Marowak hangs on by a thread.
Flings its Iron Ball. Arcanine still lives on 3 HP.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. I honestly am beginning to think Indeedee's going to win it. Arcanine definitely goes down this turn, but that Hitmontop doesn't have any real way to, I think, threaten that Indeedee out. I think Dan just goes for the Expanding Force again. He could also follow me here, take the double hit, and then Iron Head safely. Just depends, but I think Expanding Force does win from here.
There's that Detect from Marowak. Let's keep it around for a little bit longer and a double Protect on both ends. Oh, wow.
Probably trying to stall the terrain turns. Or a Scout.
Yep.
I like that.
Another Expanding Force. You could just keep clicking that, like you said, and click Iron Head. It doesn't really matter what happens now, because there's going to be a KO on either of them.
Yeah. They both go down here. I think Iron Head was the correct play, so that way you still have it for the Hitmontop.
Yep. And there's the KO on the Lurantis as well. So now
I think Dan has this,
down 2-1.
Unless I'm incorrect on that. So this was a really good set, like a really, really, really good set. Both players played a really nice job. Great prep on both ends. We've seen now twice in Superior Division a unusual TRmon do quite well with Crocodile and Latios, so glad Dan is keeping the tradition up. But yeah, no, Flamingo prepped and played this super, super well. He had a really strong season too. Um, Super impressed with how both of them adjusted and adapted throughout the set.
Yeah, that was. They're both. I know. I know. Watching Flamingo, he's very good at adjusting, and you mentioned earlier Dan is a very good adjuster as well. So to see both of them, go to work and do what they do the best they can, it's real,
Yeah.
real good show. Real nice
So
to see.
thanks for coming on to commentate. I really appreciate it. I hope you all enjoyed this set. It was definitely a great one. Probably one of the best matches I've seen in the GLDL.
Yeah,
And
I enjoyed it.
Do you have
Thanks for
anything?
having me.
Yep, no problem. We'll be seeing you all next time. Have a great rest of the week. Bye.